Jack Smith goes on to say, the ordinary process may not result in a final decision for many months, which might prevent this court from hearing and deciding the case this term. Why the rush, Jack? I mean, why does it have to be this term? The government waited more than 2.5 years to even bring this case, and now all of a sudden we need to rush? Why? I mean, we know why. It's because Trump is leading in all the polls and he's going to be the Republican nominee. But the reasons you give are a joke. But Jack Smith says, yeah, but this case is at the center of the January 6th insurrection, an event that has been compared to the Civil War and 9/11. So it's of significant importance. Okay. But there are other January 6th defendants waiting in jail for 3 years, and they haven't even gotten a trial date. And in some of those cases, the government has asked to postpone it even further. So that's not the reason. Jack Smith says, yeah, but we have a trial date, March 4th, and we need to keep that trial date. But as the brief points out, every case has a trial date. So what's the real reason, Jack? The brief goes on to say, the trial schedule coincidence with the presidential primaries has not been lost on the public or the press. Asked how to reassure foreign leaders that the former president will not return, the current president responded, well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power if he does run. I'm making sure he, on the legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. Biden did say that. I found the tape. Here it is.
Your predecessor is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, making sure he, under the legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
I'm making sure that he does not become the next president again? And what do you mean you're using the Constitution to demonstrate or prove that he shouldn't be allowed to run? Using the Constitution as in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment? You just revealed to the whole world, Joe, that you were working behind the scenes with Merrick Garland to prevent Trump from running if he decided to run. In fact, the New York Times reported that you pressured Merrick Garland to prosecute Trump. That press conference was November 9th. 6 days later, on November 15th, Trump announced that he was going to run again.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
On November 18th, 3 days after Trump announced, Merrick Garland appointed Jack Smith as special prosecutor. And that is not a coincidence. We all know the only reason Trump is being prosecuted is because he's running for president. That is a fact. And if you don't believe me, listen to Merrick Garland.
The Department of Justice has long recognized that in certain extraordinary cases, it is in the public interest to appoint a special prosecutor to independently manage an investigation and prosecution. Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
You can't deny this anymore. Merrick Garland said, because he's running again, we have to prosecute him.